Welcome to the Generational Gap. I am your moderator, Villain by Default. And on this show, we take a topic and then we discuss it between a panel of people from different generations. Let's introduce the panel. Okay, we'll start with my dad, Smoke. Say what's up.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
We want the smoke.
Raise it up, raise it up.
All right, we got Toxic Broski.
What's poppin'?
And we got Kaze.
What's going on?
All right, today's topic is we're going to be talking about fake news and what do you consider fake news and how do you basically identify it, right? So the first question is what are some methods you guys use to verify if news is real or not? We'll start with you, Dad. We'll start with Smoke.
Well, first of all, you got to consider the source of which it came from. If it came from one of the off the walls or one of the small media outlets, 9 out of 10 times, it's probably not true. If it came from, let's see, a leftist or a leftist extremist or something like that, 9 out of 10 times it's not true. The mainstream media, some factual, but then you still need to do your own research. And that's how you can tell whether it's true or
not. Okay. Kaze? How do you verify?
I usually verify by if it's like, because usually if it's one source, then I tend not to believe it. But if it's a lot of sources saying the same thing, then I am more inclined to believe that it's true to an extent. Like if they said somebody died or somebody got attacked or something like that, or something crazy, And like if I only see it on if I see it only on Facebook or somebody just post a picture, I'm not inclined to believe that. But if I start seeing news reports and then the posts and then all other types of media outlets saying that this person may have passed away or whatever like that, then I'm inclined to believe it. I don't usually just go off of one thing. Sometimes you just gotta do your research.
All right. Broski?
What do I see as fake news? Or how do I verify news? I first, obviously, where I see it at, I would have different apps first of all. Instagram, Facebook, see if anyone's talking about it there. If we're talking about it there, then I go to Google. Or first, if I see it, I'll Google it. Google will tell you. If someone died, Google will be right on it. Let's say this person is here. They'll give you all straight facts and all the news reports on if someone died. So I would know if something happened through Google. So Google is my primary source. But Instagram and Facebook is like my secondary source.
Okay. What are some of you guys? Okay, what do you name a few sources that you feel is credible, right? Like if you were to hear from this source, then you will be more likely to believe it. Let's start with you, Dad.
Say that again.
Name a few sources that you usually find credible.
let's see. I'll say maybe CNN, and then it's after that. It's like like you got to pick and choose after that. Because some, like I said, it's about your own research because they can give you information and it's still not necessarily all true. They'll give you part of the facts and then not the other, and then not the real fact. So I would say I really wouldn't trust any of it until I do my own research.
Okay. Kaze, you said you look for multiple sources. What are some of the sources that you look for that you consider credible?
I definitely use Google. Google is, I mean, you can usually find what you need to find using Google, but that just helps you search other outlets per se. And I guess some news outlets, I would say usually, so like, oh, Fox. I don't know. I follow Fox News. Don't necessarily mean they're always telling the truth, but uh, that's sometimes I get information from them, and then I'll use Google to verify. And I Wikipedia is not 100% credible in my opinion, but that can be used as well. But I think the most of the time I just use Google.
Okay. What about you, Broski?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Google is a good source because what I'm gonna have to disagree with Kaze is you can also Google has its own little information page right there in the front. So if you Google something, it'll show it right there. It won't lead to other links. I'm saying it tells you about the information, like if someone died or whatever. But it also depends on what the topic is. If it's like rapper drama, then the Shade Room is Instagram. I'm believing the Shade Room. Vote for them. If it's someone got killed or whatever, then I'm gonna have to go with Google. But if it's something like on a big scale, then that's when I usually gonna go with local news. My news station is not known for lying. CNN is not known for lying. Or they might be at something. But I have for lying. I don't really trust Fox, and I don't watch Fox, but yeah. I use news or some Instagram pages like Media Academics, CNN, The Hollywood Fix, all that.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about alternative media? I saw that Kari brought up the Shade Room. Right, you said Shade Room, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he brought up the Shade Room. So, are there any alternative media sources, like he said, the Shade Room, that you guys find credible?
I honestly don't read any of them. Alternative ones, I guess.
Yeah, I don't either. Because most of the alternative ones is that QAnon, the election conspiracy, all this craziness out here, man. So I don't even go there. I don't even venture that far.
So there's no internet newspapers or magazines that you guys follow?
For me,
YouTube channels, Instagram stories, anything like that?
Just for any type of media or like?
Yeah, like any. I mean, because they deliver news as well, so. Y'all don't have any alternate media sources that y'all find credible
If we
other
go
than
to,
Kari?
I'm saying, if we go to YouTube, we got Drama Alert. He tells you all the YouTube drama. Like it all depends on what the topic's about.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it
even know
about
what that is.
Drama Alert is that gives you update on YouTube drama. But you talking about sports, like for Snapchat, because I get this on Snapchat story too. There's a place called SC Now. They give you all updates on stuff like that.
Is
There's
SC for Sports Center?
yes, Sports Center.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust Sports Center on Snapchat. Like, and there's pages called I think it's called Rap on TikTok. I listen to them all the time. Every time I scroll past on TikTok, I see them. They're not gonna lie, but it all depends on, like I said, what the TikTok is. I mean, what the information is about.
Okay. Online, I'll look at TYT, Young
The
Turks.
Young Turks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brian Taylor Coyne is the other guy I look at. That's about it for me.
I've seen Young Turk videos, but I don't follow it or look for them. To be honest, I don't really follow any other third string media type platforms that gives news. I don't think Watch Mojo counts. But then again, I kind of dislike half of the videos they put out there anyway.
I think Mojo counts.
Okay.
Mojo?
Watch Mojo is a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
I think they post to more to YouTube, but they start off as a YouTube channel for sure.
Okay.
So what major stories that you've heard recently that you've deemed fake? Right? Give me a couple examples of some stories that you've did your own research, and since most of y'all said doing your own research, that you've named deemed fake from your own research versus what you were told.
The most recently is voter fraud. The voter fraud thing was a big fake, really fake. So, and then doing the research, and plus the courts kicking it out. So it was fake all the way. But then now they're trying to suppress the vote due to that big lie anyway. So.
I think one of them when I did is I had to Google the Mr. Potato Head thing. Somebody told me about it, and I was like, nah, they didn't do that. And then come to find out that Hasbro didn't make that change. So yeah,
it was
they didn't make the change.
It was an intern or something
Uh-huh.
that put the post out there. At least that's what the last thing I read from them making the official statement. So I mean, it's hard to verify if they were about to make the change and then saw the backlash and switched or not. I believe they blamed it on the intern. I could be wrong about that. But okay, yeah, the Mr. Potato Head thing. What about you, Kari? I mean, Boski.
Only
Sorry.
news person I don't believe he's not actually like a page for this. Actually, he is a page for this. His name on TikTok is called the 2029 Man. He constantly says a date or whatever, and then says this will happen. And it's been known to not happen, and he still does it to this day. He's still telling the future. I'm putting quotation marks. He's still telling the future, even though he's been proven wrong so many times. That's a source that I just will never believe. But other than major sources, I'm not. I mean, I can't say he's not major because yeah, 100,000 on TikTok. But other than that, bigger than that, not really. Other than the news talking about the protests or they're just starting stuff and everything like that. I can say that's big news.
Okay.
That's why I also don't follow Fox because Fox is the one promoting that.
All right. So, Dad, you said voter fraud. How did you come to the conclusion it was fake?
I went in and read the docket in the courts, especially in Minnesota and in Wisconsin. I went and read that their filings and why the judge threw it out because their claims were not fact based. It was just hearsay. So that's how I knew that the election was not fraud. I actually went in and looked at the filings, the court filings.
Okay. What about you with how did you find out about the Mr. Potato Head being fake, Kaze?
I can't say I know the exact source, but I googled it, and I clicked on several different links, that was discussing the topic. So I read couple different articles on whether Hasbro has gone wrong and changed the gender type of the toy, and it was a few articles that I read that said that Hasbro hasn't made that change, that they took a stand or whatever, or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact truth, but the way they worded it was like Hasbro took a stand and didn't change the gender of the toy. And then and then Hasbro themselves made an official statement. So yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on. So, have you guys heard a story or a news report that sounded like it was false, and then with your own research you learned that it was true?
Something that I heard was false, and then
Well, it sounded like it was false, like something you heard, and then you were like, "No, it can't be." And then with your own research, you found out that it was true.
Yes, Black Panther. When everybody was posting about him passing, I did not believe that at all, not one bit. I did not believe that he passed at all until I looked it up to Google and found out he really did pass. Same thing for Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe was one for sure. But that was more like you didn't have to do much research because they was broadcasting that like everywhere. So once they said it, like you see somebody posted on Facebook or something, you're like, nah. And then it was like every news station covering the story. So
What about you, Dad?
I don't think I have one, D. I mean,
That's fine. So you never like heard a story and was like, "No, that can't be true," and then you looked it up and it was?
Oh, yes. Yeah. When I first found out, when I first heard that milk was no good for you, I couldn't believe it. So I had to do my own research. And milk is really no good for you.
Okay. How did you go out? How did you go about finding it? What sources did you use?
I went and I looked in. Where did I go? I started on WebMD. Then I went on Google and read a couple articles that facts about milk and what it does to you and what it does to the human body. And that the FDA told lies about it back in the 50s that milk was good for you to boost the dairy what I'm trying to say, to boost the dairy people sales, right? To boost the dairy sales, so they start pushing milk and cheese into the diets.
Okay. Do you remember what publications were that you looked up? Like a couple of websites you went to?
Well, that was a while ago. This is about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I looked it up is because when I first got sick, they said that I couldn't have any dairy or whatever, and I didn't understand why I couldn't have it until they broke it down. They broke it down for me, and I was like, okay, but I need to go find out for myself. And then that's when I started looking for it, and it told me that because the milk from a cow does not have any hormones that's good for the human body. The milk from a cow has pus in it and all these other things in it that's not good for the body. I don't care how much you homogenize it or cook or boil the milk to make it, it's still not good for the human body.
I saw a video on that actually on YouTube. It's not good for the human body at all. Even though I still drink chocolate milk like not tomorrow, still, yeah, I know it's not good for you.
Okay.
That's why I drink rice milk now.
What in the world is rice milk?
Water.
That's bad.
Okay, so you brought up conspiracy. You brought up the QAnon conspiracy. Have y'all ever found out that a conspiracy was true?
I don't think you're supposed to.
You said you don't think we're supposed to?
No.
Yes, I have. But I can't say it on this platform.
Wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Have you ever found out some conspiracies that has been true?
Are you talking about like the rapper stuff?
Just period. Like any conspiracy.
So
I don't think I've ever actually looked into conspiracies. Like I'll hear some, but I don't look into them, so I don't know.
I'm a big conspiracy theorist. Definitely, I'm definitely one of them. We have the freak. What is it called? The something effect. What is it called?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. That's a big one I believe in. And the reason I'm gonna have to say I think it's true is because if you think about it, it's like for most people, if I ask y'all, how was Looney Tunes spelled for y'all?
How was what?
The show Looney Tunes. How was it spelled for you? How was Tunes spelled for you?
Tunes.
Yeah, Tunes. Sometimes Toons. It all depends on.
Yeah, the O's, the ones with O's is how I remember it. That's how I remember growing up. But did you know it was never like that ever?
Well, it depends on where you saw it from, right? A lot of times, I remember when I seen Tunes, it was back in the 90s, when like Nike was dropping those shirts, right? And then so they were doing like cross color, and then they had like urban Bugs Bunny and Urban Daffy and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like there were some knockoffs that weren't Nike and cross color and stuff, and they were spelling tunes wrong, and it might have been on purpose, right? So that's how I used to see tunes, like off a knockoff
Okay,
um things.
what about the Fruit of the Loom logo?
The Fruit of the Loom logo.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that
Uh,
multiple ways.
it was a cornucopia with some fruit in it, like if I'm not mistaken.
that's how everybody remembers it. But found out it was never like that. It was always without the cornucopia, and that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Thinking that you're
It had
I
the
mean,
thinking I'm
cornucopia in
thinking.
there.
Exactly. It supposedly the logo never had the cornucopia behind it, but everyone remembers it had a cornucopia behind it.
but is that a conspiracy though,
Yeah.
or is that just people remembering it how they wanted to remember it?
How come millions of people remember it with a cornucopia behind it?
Well, I mean, that's just because
Does it not exist now, or is he just saying that it's not there anymore?
That's never been their logo ever. Never look it up. That's never been their logo.
Oh, I know what it is. Because if you go to, let's see, stores like if you go to stores like let's just say what's the place called Foreman Mills and places like that, Silverman's. You might find a Fruit of the Loom with a cornucopia on it. That might be where people seen it.
Nah. That's
I mean, okay, so how is that a conspiracy though? Like people just
the
being
Mandela
wrong is
effect
the
itself. The Mandela
conspiracy?
effect itself. I think it's something is up for it. It's something weird of how millions of people remember it this way, but some people don't. Like they're honest. That's the conspiracy. The government is doing something.
Oh, okay. You think it's the government? Okay, that's the conspiracy part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, what else would it be? Why else would millions of people remember the same thing?
Because millions of people get things wrong. Like that's. I mean, don't you think so?
Excuses for the government. That's what it's called.
They use a neuralizer.
They're doing something. Don't know what it is, but they're doing something.
Okay. What's
You don't
some?
remember nothing.
So, other than because I know you brought up QAnon. Other than QAnon, what are some other modern day conspiracy theories that you guys have run into within like the last 5 years or so?
The whole rappers having to sell their soul to get famous and stuff, or to be famous and rich, you have to sell your soul. I'm not gonna. I think honestly, it's real because there's too many times I've heard rappers and everybody in their songs talking about they don't like how they messed up, how they wish they never sold their soul just to get this fame.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's
one.
Yeah, that's one.
What about you, Kaze?
Recently, conspiracies.
I don't think our generation can have conspiracy theories.
Really?
We don't. Man, they come in all shapes and forms, bro.
What about the
and ages?
Mariah Carey one? Is that the one I'm talking about? I think so.
Mariah Carey. What's her conspiracy?
Well, I think that I might be talking about the wrong person. Hold on.
I think the one I just heard of, it was the UFOs. I mean that happens a lot in a lot of years, but it came back up again this year. The UFO thing. I haven't looked into it, but I know I heard of it.
Are you talking about the one that was recorded by the Air Force?
Yeah,
that
and
one?
then the whole was it 2 years ago? Everybody wanted to raid Area 51.
Oh yeah. If I
yeah,
was old
nobody
enough now,
showed up.
I would have gladly did. I'd 100% did it.
Enough
But the
people
Air
didn't
Force,
show up.
Until you got there and got shot.
the Air Force said that UFOs are true.
Well, I mean, if you're being literal, yes, they
Mhm.
are true. Because I mean, unidentified flying objects do exist, right?
Right.
But are they extraterrestrial? That's the question.
Just think about it. There's no such thing as we're the only living species on this planet.
Prove it.
What do you mean prove it? They just don't want to show it us yet.
Well, you might have said that wrong. We're the only human beings on the planet, is what you meant? Because there's other living species.
Yeah, there's other things. I'm saying like we're the only ones. Like we can't say that we're the only ones in the whole entire galaxy. We can't say that.
Prove it.
We don't have that technology yet.
Then it can't be proven. So you can't say it.
But to say that it is true, that you're literally saying that we're the only race in the galaxy.
I didn't say that. I just asked you to prove it.
I can't prove it, but that's also because I'm not into science stuff. But
So as far as you know, wait,
as
far as you know, we the only one here, right?
No, I know there's more.
Okay, well, prove it.
I can't. You prove it.
Okay, wait. So let's not talk about galaxy, right? Because we haven't left the galaxy. Do you think we're the you don't think we're the only beings with our amount of intellect in our solar system?
You asking me?
Yes.
Oh my God! I thought you said B.
No, like other beings, because like we're human, right? So other
like humanoid-ish things. I think.
Well, I mean, they don't have to be humanoid, right? Like just our intellect level in our solar system.
I think they exist 100%, and I think they actually live here with us on Earth. There's too many stories of things happening that cannot be explained. Animals don't do stuff like this. And there's this one spot, I forget where, but I'll look it up. And it's like this city that everyone abandoned because people get going missing. Every time someone would go there, to go missing. No one goes there now because of these creatures that they saw. So I'm just saying, for y'all who don't believe it, if one of y'all would go to the city and stay there for a night, I will literally give you $1,000 to prove me wrong. I'm just saying, you can't stay there for a night because something will happen to you because they exist. Something exists. We're not the only intelligent species.
Where's the city at?
When I find it, we gonna come back to this. When I find it.
Wait, when you find it.
Let's go.
I heard a conspiracy from a friend that said that it should be aliens in the deepest part of the ocean since we can't never get down there.
What about the inner Earth conspiracy?
Inner Earth?
Yeah. Why do you think? Did you know it's illegal for us to go to the two poles, two sides of the Earth, top and bottom? It's literally illegal. And if you look on Google Maps over there, a lot of the stuff there is copy and pasted. There's craters, there's pyramids, there's so many things over there. And there's people that's been over there that just came out and said this stuff. But we can't go over there because it's illegal to go. Why do you think the government won't let us? Why won't they let us? Because they're hiding something. The inner Earth.
Wait, do you got the equipment to go to the North and South Pole?
I'll make it. Not me first.
From my understanding, from a biblical sense, that the UFOs are chariots that's carrying the angel, and that's a biblical reference.
All right.
that felt deaf.
Any more conspiracies that y'all heard yet? Like, what about like Alex Jones?
Who?
Y'all know who Alex Jones is?
I don't even know who that is.
He's a huge conspiracy guy. The that they're turning the frogs gay guy?
No.
You've never heard of Alex Jones?
How do you turn the frog gay?
He was talking about some chemicals, and he was saying that they was turning the frogs gay. I mean, he wasn't completely right. They were coming out hermaphrodites, though. He also talks about like different species of people and how you could take certain drugs to see demons and all these other things. Like I've never heard of Alex Jones. Like he's a huge conspiracy
Yeah, I
theorist.
haven't, but I'm gonna look him up because he
But he
probably
has the reason why I don't subscribe to him. He just said I'm sorry too many times. He done told too many lies.
Too
But
many
you
lies.
to be even credible.
I think I heard of that frog thing, but I didn't know who the person was.
Yeah, that came from Alex Jones.
Okay.
What's some other conspiracies? Let me think. All right, so we talked about the UFOs. Let's talk about some past conspiracies. Like what was that city that had all the sightings a long time ago in the 50s?
Roswell.
Roswell. How do y'all feel about those conspiracies?
You said it was the 50s?
I can't
Yeah, I
speak.
think it was
to
the
none of my
50s.
timeline.
You said before your timeline?
That's not even a little bit before my timeline. That's like a lot bit before my timeline. That's like 52 years before I was even born. I can't believe
He said,
Oh, I heard one. I think I seen a video on it where they said JFK got assassinated by the dude in front of him, the
I saw that
driver,
video. He did.
instead of the guy shooting from. Yeah, they said JFK got shot by the driver.
He did. I saw the video.
you
So you
believe it?
telling me that you said there wasn't no man in the grassy knoll on top of the hill?
He
I mean,
did.
it might have been a person there, but that's not who he got shot by. That's what they saying.
If you look at the video, it's very graphic, but if you look at the video, you will see what I'm talking about. I've seen it.
Now, the video you saw, do you believe it's a credible source? Especially with like the fact we got deepfake technology now.
Deepfake technology is taking your face and putting someone else's face on it or your voice and doing that. You cannot deepfake a video from back in that time. How
Why
do you?
can't you?
What are you exactly deepfaking? How
Well,
do you?
you can replace pixels. I mean, that's what the AI does, right? It's not just faces they can do that with. They've done it with cars, like in movies, where it'll be a brand new car. Like they can put things into videos. And I was just using deepfake as a example.
You saying
Not saying that they were using deepfakes.
you saying a high level video editor could do something like that?
Yeah, they've done it before.
That's true.
Like
That's true.
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but in Forrest Gump, they did it. Not saying that was like the best work ever, but you know, like it has been done.
Trump said Ted Cruz father killed JFK.
Ted Cruz?
Father.
Oh, his father?
Yeah, that's what Trump said.
Nobody listens to Trump because everything he spits out of his mouth is bull.
Nobody listens to Trump? Are you sure?
Except for Trump.
They're not the only ones that listen to Trump.
It's 70 million of them.
And wait, no, you can't say that. Just because you follow him don't mean you listen to him. I follow him on Twitter. Don't mean I listen to him.
He's talking about the voters.
Oh, I'm retarded. Yeah, he's up there in the following on Twitter though. Actually, I think his Twitter account got disabled.
Yeah, it got banned.
Could you imagine?
All the media platforms.
Nah, not on OnlyFans. He can make an OnlyFans.
That'll be.
He don't need one though.
He don't need a. I was say he doesn't need an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got enough money to live the rest of his little life he got left.
Now, speaking of conspiracies, do you think that what about people getting blacklisted?
That's retarded. I think that's terrible, and it depends on how you let it happen. Because if you think about it, you talk about blacklist as in like blackballed, right?
Yeah.
They tried.
Well, that's a kind of blackball. Yeah, blackballed is a way.
They tried to do that to Takashi. First of all, I think it's retarded. But second of all, sometimes it don't work. But blackballing.
He did snitch.
See, that's the thing. Everybody's mad at him for snitching, but did y'all know why he snitched?
Why?
He clearly says it. He tells him they were sleeping with his baby mama. They kidnapped. I think he said they kidnapped his parents, or they threatened his parents. There's so many things that they did on him, against him, while he was in jail, and then people get mad that he snitched on them. If you were in a group of people, like let's say it's like 10 of us, right? We all gang, we ride or die for each other. But then I go to jail for something, and then y'all sleep with my girlfriend, threaten my mom, steal my money. All this. Y'all think I'm gonna still be loyal to y'all?
That's the girlfriend's fault.
That's not necessarily girl. Yes, it is. You could say it's the girlfriend's fault.
It's her fault.
But it's also the guy's fault for doing it. You can't that's like if y'all try to sleep with my girlfriend. I'm not gonna get mad at him. I'm gonna get mad at both of y'all. The girlfriend for allowing me, and the guy for even trying.
But he couldn't do nothing if the girl wouldn't let him.
You said what?
He couldn't do anything if the girl didn't let him.
True. But you should still get mad at him too. So does he get a complete write-off, you're saying?
I will have more issues with my girlfriend than him.
Nah. Because they both broke loyalty to you. That's what they both did. They both broke it.
I didn't say I wouldn't be upset with him, but I would have more issues with my girlfriend than him. No, because he couldn't do nothing to her unless she allowed it.
But even if she wanted to do something with him, he shouldn't have allowed it. It's a 50-50. If my girlfriend and my homie did something with each other, they both were in the wrong.
It's not 50-50. If she said if she gave her okay, then she gave her okay. If she said no, then there's no. It ain't almost rape or 50-50 rape. She has to consent, and she did.
So and he consented before it even happened. Where you listen. Here's the guy's 50%. Let's say she's in a whole different. She's down the street, right? His 50% was getting up, first thinking about doing it, and getting up, going to go talk to her about it. That's his whole 50%. He went to go do it before she even knew it. And then after he talked to her,
her 50% is, her 100% is, she said yes.
Yes, her other 50% is saying yes.
Her 100% is yes.
So you said it's 100% her fault?
Yeah, because he couldn't do nothing without her. He couldn't do nothing without her consent. I don't care how much he talked or how much he thought about it. If she said no, then he couldn't do anything. Then it's rape. So she had to decide to give it to him. He's wrong too. Now, don't get it wrong. But I have more issue with my woman than I would have with the guy.
So you saying if your girlfriend,
if you came home and your girlfriend sleeping with a guy, who you going after?
You said what? Depends who the guy is. If it's a random stranger, I ain't gonna blame him. It ain't his fault. He probably didn't know. But if it's one of my homies, let's say my brother Ali, if he did it with my girlfriend, I'm gonna blame both of them. Because that's a loyalty trust right there. I'm not gonna be real with you. Like, are you saying you would honestly drop the girl but still be homies with the guy?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I have more issue with the girlfriend than I have with the guy.
Honestly, I would get mad at both.
Me and the guy won't be cool no more. But the girlfriend, she's in trouble for real. That means she got to get out and all that other stuff. I ain't got to see this guy no more again in my life.
It depends how.
And I would never see her. I would never see her again. Period.
Okay. Don't forget, they didn't just sleep with his girlfriend. They threatened his mom and stole his money. Now you're talking about someone who's messing with your finances.
Well, see, it depends. Look, whatever you choose to do as an individual, then your decision comes with consequences. If that's what if you decided to be a snitch, then you know what the consequences are. You made that decision. So
you saying you're gonna still be loyal to the squad that played you? Now the only thing that I don't support what he did. He snitched on people that had nothing to do with that.
Well, how loyal was he?
That he wasn't loyal at that point. But I'm saying I'm playing devil's advocate. I understand. He was filled with rage. He felt like he couldn't have nobody to trust. He felt like he couldn't trust nobody. If everybody around him, like honestly, if I have 10 people around me, but 5 of my friends, if 5 or 6 people betray me and do all this, do my girlfriend, take my money, threaten my mom, break them out, do all this, why the heck would I believe in the other 10? I ain't gonna believe in nobody. I'm gonna have trust for everybody. I'm like, how do I know they didn't do it? I still don't want it, but I understand why he did it.
Okay.
So yeah, he snitched on them. I don't like that. I don't think it's cool that he snitched on people that had nothing to do with it. But in his eyes at the moment, he was not thinking objectively, he was thinking emotionally. He was thinking that, everyone didn't betray him. Everybody probably did this. And like I said, they tried to blackball him, but it didn't work. He hit world record everything. When they blackballed, he more famous. He got the highest viewed video in the first 24 hours ever on YouTube. He got the most Instagram Live views ever on Instagram Live. Like, he was hitting world records.
Okay.
Nobody else done that. The only person who did that YouTube thing was Eminem. But he didn't outbeat Eminem in the first 24 hours. Within 24 hours of your YouTube video, he world record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the media a little bit more.
Okay.
Do y'all think it's important what the media says or how they say it? Right? Because it's a lot of times where they don't necessarily lie, but they leave out details, right?
Yes, it's the framing of the words they use.
Yeah. So I mean, how closely do you listen to what they say versus how they say it, right? Because it's
well, I listen
go
to
ahead.
I listen to them, but then, like I said, it's about doing your research because they lie with omission. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you half the story, but not the half that that's the important half, the other side of it. I can tell you right now that there's 4,000 kids at the border trying to find, there's 4,000 kids at the border, but then don't tell you that they're trying to do the humane thing for to find refuge for the kids and get them in the right housing and do all this from what Trump did. So it's lying by omission. They don't tell you the whole truth.
Okay. Speaking of that, do you think they were doing the same thing when Trump was in office?
I think they do it to anybody. They do it to anybody. They are, sometimes you can get half the story, sometimes you get the full story. But like I said, it all goes into the frame of how they frame the words. because normally they're not going to give you the whole. They don't go into all the details.
Do you think it happened more when Trump was in office, or do you think it was about the same as usual?
Um, I mean, Trump did so much, man. He lied so much, though. I couldn't tell you.
My run to
I
rest
couldn't- I-
here back.
he told a whole lot of falsehoods.
Well,
And lies of omission as well.
well, I think more lies were told about him than him actually saying lies.
More lies were said about him.
Yeah,
Like
there.
what?
Can you give us an example?
Dang, there was one because I remember talking about it. I forgot who I talked about it with, but because I remember it got debunked or thrown out or something like that, and because they were trying to get him impeached for it. Oh, the taxes thing. His taxes from the previous year or something like that, where they say he only paid like
7,500. I mean, 750.
750 in taxes,
Mhm.
but that wasn't the full truth. They like omitted
Right.
what really happened.
Lies by omission. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Another example was the good people on both sides thing.
Yeah.
That was the whole truth either. I mean, they do it across the board.
Right.
So I guess my next question is why do you tune in to it? Like if you know they're doing it, why do you feel people watch the news still?
To try to get a semblance of what's going on, current events, what's happening in the country, and then, like I said, you gonna have to follow it up. You know, after you hear that, then you got to follow it up because, well, I don't want to get into race. I don't want to get into the race thing today. It's not today.
And you don't have to touch the race if you don't want to. I'm just saying, like, if we all know that the media doesn't tell us the truth, why do so many people watch it?
I think because the vast majority is lazy. They rather just get the news and run with it than rather than doing any research.
Right. I can go along with that.
Okay, that's fair enough. If you were to give some people some tips on how to, what to tune in and listen for when identifying whether the news is real or not, what would it be?
How many times the story is told in different ways? Because if you hear the story from multiple sources and they're not all saying the same thing, then something is wrong. At least that's one way I kind of take the news.
What about if the issue's it's not bipartisan, right? Like what if it's right versus left? In those situations, you're going to hear the story different ways for sure.
That is true.
I said, so in that situation, what is your approach to figuring out which side is true?
For me, it has to, like I said, it has to be the research. And then 9 out of 10 times, you can hear it's somebody's going to be skewing it another way from where it started from. Somebody is going to say something to take it further, and that's when you know I need to go find this out. because somebody is not telling the truth. You can tell from one side. If I gave you the facts and said, my cell phone is right here on my desk, and then somebody in the same room said, yeah, his cell phone is on his desk, but he put it on the couch. Then I'll admit putting it on the couch. I told you it's on the desk. And here it is on my desk. So I have to take a picture of it to prove it, right? But somebody's always going to stretch the truth. That's what I'm saying. The truth is always going to get stretched. It's going to get stretched in the constructs of I got to convince you to believe me and not them. You see what I'm saying?
It is a ratings thing too when it comes to news channels. So I don't know how that plays with certain news that gets put out, but I'm pretty sure things get twisted in order to keep viewers.
Oh yes, for sure.
A little
For
cut
sure.
out.
Since we're talking about the truth, right? Like if what determines to be the truth is public opinion, does the truth is the truth real, y'all think? Or is it just whatever the consensus is?
You know, I think the truth
So set you free?
is
No,
the
I'm sorry, go
truth
ahead.
is subjective. It's
Now
subjective now.
it is.
Because I could, like, let's say we both see an accident. We see the same accident. For me, the car on the right hit the car on the left. For the guy standing next to me, the car on the left hit the car on the right. Now, which one is true? The accident happened, but who we know which car caused the accident? But we both saw the same thing. So which is true? And then, when does a lie become the truth?
When
When people
everybody
believe it.
believes it.
Correct.
So,
The truth used to be a consensus. At least, everybody believed a certain fact or information that was given to be the truth. It would be the mass majority believing that would be the truth. Now you have my truths where I don't care what you think or know or what's fact. I know what I know, and what I know is fact is starting to be a thing now. So yeah, the truth is whatever now. It's whatever it wants to be.
Now. Because it even came up in the earlier years, it's your truth, my truth, then the truth. So I thought it was only one truth.
okay.
It's supposed to be.
Speaking of the truth, and this is about to start happening really, really soon, I believe. There's going to be a scenario where you're talking to someone and 1,000%, like 1,000% that you're correct, right?
Right.
And then you go to one of the sources that y'all talked about, and it says you're wrong, right? Because it's on the internet and things get, changed there, right?
Correct.
Like versus, published dictionaries or whatever where you can look up the word, right? How long do you think it's going to be before that starts happening to you guys more often?
Well, that's really happening now. Because let's just say, all right, I can use law enforcement for example. Cop pull you over, say you were speeding, you say I wasn't speeding. So it's your word against mine. So what is the truth? Was I speeding or not? So then when you go to court to find out the truth, and the cops say, "Well, I had him on. I didn't. Did you get him on radar? No, I didn't get him on radar. Then how you know he was speed? Oh, I just gauged his speed. And then I'll say, Your Honor, that's not accurate. I wasn't speed. So what is the truth?
Well, in that instance, it will be just they wouldn't be finding the truth, right? They'll just be letting
They'll
the
just be
judge, right?
right. Yeah,
Like
but they'll
so,
just be
if I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not saying either side is wrong here. I'm just saying that in that instance, you're letting the judge do his job, right? I'm talking about like things like okay, like there's some people who want to change how math works, right?
Honestly,
Right. So like when 2 plus 2 stops being 4, right? And then you go and try to look up because you know that 2 plus 2 is 4. And then you go online, like to Google or whatever, and every source Google shows you has changed and 2 plus 2 does no longer equals 4. Right. What
what is equal?
well, I mean, I don't know. They're just trying to change the math period, right?
Right.
Maybe the number 4 gets erased and now is bit bop or whatever, like 2 plus 2 equal bit bop, you know?
Okay.
are you
Was
teasing?
numbers racist now? Well, what's going on?
Wait, are
Are
you
we canceling numbers now? Jeez.
Well, they're not canceling numbers. They're just saying that um that the way we look at math and science is from uh a colonial, I think is colonial the word they use, point of view, right? And it needs to be redone to be more inclusive or
honestly?
Inclusive?
whatever.
Well, if they, see, this is the problem. If they wasn't trying to change the due process of math problems, then we wouldn't have this issue. If we were just going the way we was going, we'd have been fine.
Honestly, I don't cancel culture, cancel math altogether. Like they can actually do some good and cancel school while they're at it. Like stop canceling these famous people and Mr. Potato Head and go actually do something that we would actually support. Because I support canceling school. Come on now.
Let's try to stay on task.
I'm not
We can talk about cancel culture later. I'm just saying, like, what do you think? I mean, what will you guys do then when the things you knew
I'm going to
are
live in the
memory hold, I
woods.
guess, right? Because like since it's on the internet, like unless you archive everything and keep copies of it yourself, which a lot of there are some people who are doing that, like they can memory hold an issue and it'll be gone forever, right? Then how would you be able? I mean, what do you think you have to do to fact check then, right?
call them retarded and keep them moving.
Bring out a textbook from 1995.
Don't even do that because I won't even read a textbook. We're talking about schooling my generation. You can't school my generation if you pull out a book.
That's sad.
That's not sad. It's just we got technology. That book is in our hands. If we want to know something, we know something. We don't need a dictionary where I can go as easy as this. I honestly don't have to turn off my light switch. If I don't want to turn off my lights, I can literally yell and say, okay, Google, turn off kitchen lights or turn on kitchen lights, turn them red, turn them black. I can have Google do all this stuff,
I can't wait till the internet gets shut down on y'all.
It ain't going to be
Y'all gonna be lost.
it's the end of the book.
Well, I'm just saying, like they can't memory hold books, right? Like it's in print. It's physical evidence. The internet isn't physical evidence, right? So if they start getting rid of the sources that you guys trust, what would y'all do? I mean, like, what steps would you think you would need to take to fact check, right?
Other than Google,
Yes, other than Google.
give me a scenario.
But I just gave one.
No, I'm saying like give me like something where I would need to. Where I would usually try to use some Google.
Well, I mean, if I don't have any books at the ready, there's nothing I can do to fact check if Google is telling me that I'm wrong, because it wouldn't help my case.
So do you just accept it? It's like is there nothing?
No, I mean I'll probably end the argument, but I won't accept it. I won't just give in, but I probably wouldn't argue about it no more. But I'm not gonna just like, okay, you're right. I'm gonna just like whatever and walk away. This will be a whatever moment. Like I'm not gonna just give you the victory, but I mean we can end the argument till I find
Okay.
me some proof.
You find some proof.
Yeah.
I guess I've hit all the points I wanted to kind of talk about. And it is getting late. Um, as is tradition, do you guys have any questions for me or final thoughts or questions for other people in the panel?
I got a question for you.
All right.
Do you think fake news is ruining everything?
Um, that's a good question. I don't think I think the amount of fake news has been the same throughout ever since news was news, right? I think the problem right now is no matter what news is said, there are like 50 or 60 outlets that contradict it, right? Like even like if we were talking about the math, like let's any news source, like I think Dad said CNN earlier. All right, so CNN comes out and CNN goes, um, after we discussed it, we decided that 2 plus 2 will be and always will be 4, right? There will be hundreds of publications that would disagree, right? And as long as we as a people are looking for information that um caters to, our biases, for the lack of a better word, or we would never actually be able to um get away from fake news, right? Because there will be no news that'll be true enough for everybody to believe it because of that, right? So, um, like let's use Chris Pratt or whatever, because they were saying that he was crazy right wing or whatever, even though he's never said it. Since people don't like Chris Pratt, the truth for a lot of people is that Chris Pratt is everything under the sun. He's a racist. He's a Trump supporter. He's hardcore. He's all right. He's neo-Nazi, right? To them, that is the truth, right? And then on the other side, you got his fans who would believe that he couldn't even possibly be any of these things, right? Right. And as long as we have extremists, but we will never have consensus ever again, I think. If that makes any sense. I know that was kind of long-winded.
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any.
I have none today.
None today?
Profile picture.
You said what?
You like my profile picture?
Like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's
Did you
cool.
make it yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm sorry this was a shorter one. We got started a little late, guys. But let me let my panel say their goodbyes. I will start with Toxic Broski.
Peace out, everybody. Make sure you guys subscribe. Obviously, you're missing out if you're not subscribed.
All right. Kaze.
Thanks for viewing the show today. If you like, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got any topics you want us to do, just let us know.
Make sure you guys like that, subscribe button.
All right, Dad.
Good evening, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Make sure you put a comment in. Talk about these people because some of them talking kind of crazy in here, don't you think? Let me know about it. Let me know about it down there, okay?
Bruh.
All right.
All right.
You forgot to tell them like the subscribe button.
Oh yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button.
Like the subscribe button.
Oh, like the subscribe button. And this has been your Generational Gap. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
In the Middle East.
Oh Lord.